Hare Krishna. Today we are going to study the verse number 11 and 12 of chapter number 6 of Bhagwat Gita as it is. The name of this chapter is Dhyan Yoga. And in this chapter, Krishna is going to teach us how to meditate on the Supreme God who is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Krishna is going to teach us which is the appropriate place for yoga abhyas, for the practice of yoga, and what kind of asana a yogi should make so that he can perfectly meditate on the Supreme Lord. Shucho deshe pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmanah na ati uchritam na ati neecham Chailajin kushottaram tatrekagram manah kritva yat chittendriya kriyah upavishyasane yunjat yogam atma vishuddhaye shucho deshe pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmanah na ati uchritam na ati neecham chailajin kushottaram tatrekagram manah kritva yat chittendriya kriyah upavishyasane yunjat yogam atma vishuddhaye shucho deshe pratisthapya Sthiram asanam atmanah na ati uchritam na ati neecham chailajin kushottaram tatrek agram manah kritva yat chittendriya kriyah upavishyasane yunjat yogam atma vishuddhaye. Krishna says that to practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should neither be too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and should practice yoga by controlling his mind and his senses to purify the heart and fix the mind on one point. In today's verse, we see that Krishna is teaching us that how a yogi should make his asana and how he should concentrate on one point so that he may see the Paramatma seated in his heart. So we see that the yoga practice is all about controlling the mind and senses and to focus on Paramatma. From the very beginning of this chapter, we have come to know that Krishna first explained that who is a sannyasi and yogi. And Krishna had a purpose behind it because normally people think that anyone who wears a saffron cloth and lives in a hut in the forest is a sannyasi. But Krishna gave the definition of a sannyasi. Krishna said that a sannyasi is that person who does all his work which he should be doing, but without having any attachment with the result of the work and having no attachment with the work as well. Such a person is called a sannyasi, and not that person who does not light fire. Then Krishna further says that such a sannyasi is a yogi also, because a person who aspires to be a yogi, which means a person who is always absorbed to see the Paramatma. By this, we know that without being a sannyasi, a person cannot become a yogi. Now it's absolutely clear that a yogi is a person whose sole aim is to meditate on the Supreme Lord who is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. In the previous verse, we came to know that where should a yogi go for meditating? The place should be neat and clean, away from the crowd of the cities. Preferably, it should be in a forest, and the yogi is expected to go there alone and meditate on the Supreme Lord. In today's verse, Krishna is going to explain to us that what kind of asana the yogi should make for meditation on Krishna. Krishna is giving us each and every detail, so we need to understand it very attentively. Dhyan Yoga is meant for those people who are too much attached with the bodily concept of life, which means when people who are unable to understand by the knowledge of Jnana Yoga that everything in this material world is temporary and everything in this world that we wish to possess involves a lot of pain in the beginning as well as at the end. Let us understand this with an example. When we wish to have anything in this world, be it education, job, marriage, house, or anything else, to have these things involves a lot of hard work. We have ourselves experienced that a child has to go to school from the age of 3, and then he continues to go to school for at least 16 years till he completes his school education. Thereafter college, then higher studies, and then preparation for competitions. One after the other, the parents and children, they keep struggling just for getting a good job. And after getting a good job, next target is to get married. And after so much of struggle, it is not guaranteed that the life will be successful and happy. So we see that everything in this material world, it involves a lot of hard work in the beginning, and yet it is not permanent. So the intelligent people do not get in the trap of it, of the having a desire to possess this material world and the material things, because they have learnt from the scriptures the temporariness of everything. But everyone is not so intelligent. So for those class of men who are not so intelligent, Dhyan Yoga is recommended for them so that they can follow the process of Ashtanga Yoga and get an opportunity to get connected to the Supreme Lord. Among all the yoga process, that is Dhyan Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, Dhyan Yoga is supposed to be the lowest. Now, to have a good understanding of today's verse, let us read the Anvay given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Shuchau Deshe, in a clean place. Pratishtapya, establishing. Sthiram, steadfast. Asanam, seat. Atmanaha, his. Na ati uchritam, neither too high. Na ati nicham, nor too low. Chaila, and a cloth. Ajna, a deer skin. Kusha, a mat of kusha grass. Uttaram, in sequence. Tatra, there. Ekagram, one pointedly. Manah, his mind. Kritva, having fixed. Yata, controlling. Chitta, of his mind. Indriya, and senses. Kriyaha, the activities. Upavishya, sitting. Asane, on the seat. Yunjita, yogam. He should practice yoga. Atma Vishuddha, for the purification of his mind. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that in a sanctified place, a yogi should make a secure sitting place. by placing kusha grass, deer skin, and then cloth on the ground. It should be neither too high nor too low. And sitting on that, one should practice yoga to purify the mind with one pointed concentration and control all his thoughts and activities. Very clearly, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that sitting on a place, sitting on a asana, one should practice yoga to purify the mind. This is the main aim, to purify the mind. And with one pointed concentration, one may control all his thoughts and activities. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the yogi becoming free from all kinds of distractions so as to achieve mental purity and extreme subtlety, he should concentrate his intelligence on a single point. It is said in Kathopanishad, Drishyate tva agraya buddhaya. It means one with single pointed intelligence can see Brahma. Krishna has given us the minute details of how a yogi should make his asana and how he should concentrate his mind on a single point. So it's very clear that yoga means to have a controlled mind and senses and not just some physical postures. Now we shall read the purport given by Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada is explaining to us the meaning of sacred place. Prabhupada says that sacred place means the places of pilgrimage. And then Prabhupada says that in India, the yogis, the transcendentalists, or the devotees, they all leave home and reside in sacred places such as Prayag, Mathura, Vrindavan, Rishikesh and Haridwar. And in solitude, they practice yoga, where the sacred rivers like Yamuna and Ganga flows. But often this is not possible, especially for the Western country people. The so-called yoga societies in big cities, they may be successful in earning material benefits, but they are not at all suitable for the actual practice of yoga. And one who is not self-controlled and whose mind is not disturbed cannot practice meditation. It says that whose mind is not undisturbed, they cannot practice meditation. Therefore, in the Brihad Naradiya Puran, it is said that in the Kali Yuga, when people in general, they are short-lived, slow in spiritual realization, and always they are disturbed by various anxieties. And the best means of spiritual realization is chanting the holy name of the Lord. Harir Nam, Harir Nam, Harir Nam Eva Kevala, Kalau Nastit, 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 Gatir Anita. Prabhupada tells us the meaning of this shloka from Brihad Naradiya Puran. Prabhupada says that in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. And there is no other way, no other way, and no other way. Now let us understand the sum and substance of today's verse. So it is said that a yogi should go to a secluded place, and that too all alone. And going there, he should make his own asana. The process of making asana is also given by Bhagwan. The yogi should first lay the kusha grass, and then on it deer skin, and on top they should place one soft cloth. Further, the instruction is given that the asana should not be either too high or too low. What does it mean? It means that if the asana is too high, which means if the layer of kusha grass is very thick, then it will be very fluffy, and the yogi might fall asleep because of excess comfort. But if it is too low, then too it will be uncomfortable to sit. So the instruction is not to make the asana too comfortable or too uncomfortable for Dhyan Yoga. And one more specification is given about the choice of place. The place should be clean and sacred. The choice of place is also specified that it should be like Mathura, Vrindavan, Rishikesh or Haridwar, where the Lord has himself performed his pastimes. Then we must appreciate that how Krishna is teaching us each and everything and with such great details. Prabhupada says that after Krishna has taught us how the asana needs to be placed, then he says that the right kind of asana a yogi is supposed to fully concentrate his mind. Prabhupada says that after placing the right kind of asana and after firmly sitting on the asana, a yogi is supposed to fully concentrate his mind on Paramatma. And this is the main aim of Dhyan Yoga. This is Bhagwan's instructions to each one of us in case we want to practice Dhyan Yoga. Srila Prabhupada says that who can practice all the rules of Dhyan Yoga in today's world? Prabhupada very clearly asks us the question that who can practice all the rules and regulations of Dhyan Yoga, especially in today's world? Prabhupada further says that nowadays yoga centers have become very popular in all the big cities, but hardly anyone is following the rules and regulations prescribed in the Ashtanga Yoga process. These yoga centers only focus on few bodily postures, that is, the asana and some breathing exercise, that is, pranayama. No one knows about yam, niyam and pratyahar, which are the basic things to follow for a person who wishes to do yoga. Yam means not to do anything which are prohibited in the scriptures, that is, no meat eating, no drinking alcohol, no gambling and no illegal relationship. And niyam means to strictly follow all the prescribed rules, like doing 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily, reading Bhagwat Gita and Bhagavatam every day. And then pratyahar means not to indulge in all the things which is unfavorable in the path of devotion, which means complete sense control. These things are not followed by any yoga centers. The first instruction is also not followed, that the yogi has to practice yoga in a secluded place, sitting on a kusha asana. Prabhupada says that nowadays yoga is done in groups and on yoga mats. So it is not actual yoga at all, but it is only practicing certain bodily exercises with few breathing exercises along with it to keep the body fit, so that the person can have more and more sense enjoyment in this world and for a very long period of time, because everyone knows and realizes that as the body ages, one is able to do any such sense enjoyment. So it's very important for us to know that what is the real meaning and purpose of yoga. Srila Prabhupada says that the yoga process, which is explained by the Lord himself, is next to impossible for the people of Kali Yuga. And this is the reason that the Lord himself appeared as his devotee about 535 years ago, and the name of the Lord is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was born in West Bengal and has given us the most easiest process to control the mind and senses and reconnect with Bhagavan. And that process is described in Brihad Naradiya Puran. Harir Nam, Harir Nam eva kevalam, kalau nastiv, gatir anyatha. It means that in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, and no other way. Srila Prabhupada gives us one more beautiful example from Adi Puran. And this is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Nanam sadrishatyagi, nanam sadrishah shamaha, nanam sadrisham punyam, nanam sadrishi gatihi. Prabhupada says that in this it is stated that there is no greater sacrifice than the name of Krishna. There is no greater peace than chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There is no greater religious principle than to listen and to obey Krishna. And lastly, there is no greater goal than achieving Krishna for anyone. And Krishna is Bhaktavatsal, and he is got only by the loving devotional process, that is by Bhakti Yoga. And it is the easiest way to do bhakti. And bhakti can be done very easily just by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with full attention and love. Now I am sure that we have properly understood what kind of place a yogi should go to do his meditational activities, to do his mind completely absorbed in the Supreme Lord, and what kind of asana a yogi should make for himself, so that it is neither too high nor too low. For high it is said that too much comfortable, and for low it is said that it is too uncomfortable. So both the extremes should not be taken by a yogi. Rather, the yogi, he has to select a place which is sacred, which is pure, and which is clean. And then on that place, he has to lay the kusha grass on which the deer skin, and on top a soft cloth should be put, so that it's easier and comfortable for a yogi to be able to concentrate on the Lord who is seated in the heart of every. So now we understand properly the meaning of Yoga Asana, and Krishna has explained to us in great details so that we understand every word, and then we can pursue our own path. In today's verse, clearly we have come to know the process of Dhyan Yoga, and Srila Prabhupada says that it is next to impossible for any Kali Yuga person to follow the Dhyan Yoga. This is why Krishna has given us the process of Bhakti Yoga also. And in this, a person has to do a Hare Krishna Mahamantra jap, and his mind is completely absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. Now I thank Srila Prabhupada and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Harimohan Das Prabhuji, for making us understand the most secretive knowledge of Bhagwat Gita in such simple words. Please give answers, and please write your realizations in the comment box. In case you have any questions, please do write. I shall surely try to answer your questions by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Now we shall meet the next week with shlok number 13 and 14. Till then, keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and be happy. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Hare Krishna.